The world has known many great cities over the ages, but there are very few who hold as much wonder as the city of Rome. The city was home to both heroes and tyrants, and was the heart of one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen, the Roman Empire. Let me tell you how it all began. About the brothers Remus and Romulus, and the blood-soaked rage that would fuel the empire for centuries. We find ourselves first in a small city in ancient Italy, known as Alba Longa, where King Numita reigns. Numita had a brother, Romulus, who ambitiously coveted the throne, and the power that came with it. So envious was Romulus, that he usurped his brother, taking his throne and banishing him from the kingdom. He then had Numita's sons eliminated, leaving no room for doubt as to who the new ruler of the city was. King Numita also had a daughter, Rhea Silvia. Romulus no doubt considered slaying her as well, but instead had her take the vows of the Vestal priestesses, leaving her celibate until the end of her days. As a virgin, she would mother no males which could rise up to challenge the usurper Romulus. Fate, however, had other plans. It is said that Mars, the Roman god of war himself, forced himself on Rhea, and their union produced twin sons, Remus and Romulus. Romulus, with fear in his heart for what Rhea's sons might do, allowed her to bear them, but once they were born, ordered his servants to cast them into the river Tiber, where they would undoubtedly drown. The servants, gazing upon the defenseless babes, took pity, and instead left them on the banks of the river. Soon after, a wolf, Lupa, perhaps sent by Mars or Jupiter himself, found the babes, fed them with her milk, and kept them safe and warm through the cold night. The next day, a shepherd, whose sheep were grazing along the river bank, found the twins and took them in as his own. He raised them with his wife as strong men of the countryside, until one day, by chance, they were reunited with their grandfather, Numita, the deposed king of Alba Longa. Even as young men, Remus and Romulus were natural-born leaders, ready to enact vengeance on behalf of their grandfather. Together, they put an end to Romulus and reinstated Numita as king. Having enforced their justice, the twin brothers set out to establish their own kingdom, where they would rule just as they had fought together. Destiny, however, is not without its sense of humor. The same ambitious rivalry which ripped Numita and Romulus apart was rife within Remus and Romulus, and the young brothers argued over where the foundations of their new city should be built. Of the 7 hills of Rome, Romulus chose the Palatine, while Remus opted for the Aventine. They quarreled bitterly, and in an attempt to show his brother how silly his suggestion was, Remus mockingly leapt over the defenses that Romulus had built on his hill. Enraged and insulted, his pride unable to bear it, Romulus struck and slew his brother, declaring in fratricidal fury, "So perish anyone else who shall leap over my walls." And so it came to be, that upon the Palatine, the foundations for the great city of Rome were built. And not without irony. For just as Romulus saw fit to slaughter his own brother, so too would his city be plagued by civil strife and war. But that is a story for another time.